track temp than we had yesterday.
And this track loves overcast conditions. There's not a lot of grip out there. You see Elliott Sadler is leading the points. Ryan Reed and Justin Allgaier with the big wins. They're playoff eligible. We're just going to wind them up here, Adam. These cars are going to haul here in a bit. I'm thinking over 200 miles an hour down in the turns.
Top 12 cars will make it in to the playoffs. Michael talked about the drivers that have got victories and already put themselves into the postseason. Ryan Reed delivered in the season opener at Daytona. He's a native of Bakersfield, California. Would love to win at his home track this weekend. And Justin Allgaier won part 2 of NASCAR Goes West, dominating last weekend in Phoenix. So this is a 2-mile track. That means we'll have 2 rounds of qualifying. In the opening round, all 40 cars will go. Single car run. Top 12 advance to round 2 to run for the pole. We go in reverse order here in round 1 from how things shook out yesterday in practice. And that means the first car on track will be Joey Gase in the Donate Life California Chevrolet.
Yeah, I saw Joey Gase last night at dinner, and this team didn't get any practice yesterday, Adam. Cranked up the engine, and it just didn't run right, so they went through changing the engine. So really kind of running in the blind here, trying to figure out what he's got behind the wheel here.
As Joey Gase gets up to speed, we say good morning to Chris Neville. How are you, Chris?
Oh, I'm doing good, Adam. It's good to have Casey Mears running back with us, your first race of the year. And last time you were in an Xfinity car here at Auto Club Speedway, that was almost 10 years ago. So yesterday, were you able to figure out what you actually want?
It's definitely a challenge for sure. It's funny over here after being on the Cup side, only having a couple sets of tires to work with, and we were working through some heights, right out of the gate, and then it's like you get one more set to kind of get some sort of feel what you're going to have. So, it's fun being back over here again, and I like being with Biaggi Domestic Racing. Proud of Geico and Geico Military for stepping up and having some fun with us, and just looking forward to seeing what we have. This will be the first time we do a qualifying run since we've been here, so with it being cool like this, it's going to be really interesting to see how the car comes to green and what it feels like so that I know how to run the rest of the lap.
And it's good to have you back at the track.
Casey actually has a pole here in Xfinity Series back in 2004.
Going to run 12 races in that 98 car here this weekend, making his debut. We'll also see him in a couple of weeks' time when the Xfinity cars return to the track at Texas Motor Speedway. First lap in the books qualifying, 43 flat for Joey Gase in that 52 car. Next one out will be Stephen Light in the 97. 30-year-old out of Asheville, North Carolina. Had that win in Kentucky back in 2007, and I saw the graphic for Casey Mears. He got a win in 06 at Chicagoland Speedway. You talk about feeling old. I can't believe it's been 11 years since he won that race.
I remember when Stephen Light won in Kentucky, I was like, okay, who was that guy? And where did he come from? Just bounced onto the scene and made a statement right off the bat. This car, however, for him this weekend, yesterday was a real struggle for him, Adam. Only ran a 44.59. That's by far the slowest car, so see if there's any more speed in it today.
And DW and I were talking about this NASCAR Goes West, where both of these series, the Monster Energy Cup and Xfinity, are 3 consecutive weeks on the West Coast. And truly, this is the 3rd year we've done it, and to me, it's been a win-win-win, a huge hit for our sport. But I think for the smaller Xfinity Series teams, it probably is a huge relief when it comes to a close. And of course, the Xfinity Series, they have an off weekend next weekend. I just think it's really hard on these smaller teams to try to prepare for back-to-back races on the West Coast.
No Xfinity next weekend at Martinsville, but the Camping World Truck Series is back in action on Fox Saturday afternoon from the Paperclip. It's one of the great races of the year, so make sure and set your Saturday afternoon plan to be with everybody from here at Fox up at Martinsville.
It's truck wrestling. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go out there and lean on each other, push and shove. What a great show it is at Martinsville. I can't wait for everybody to tune in next Saturday afternoon on Fox.
3rd car on track in qualifying, Timmy Hill in the Crash Claims Series. 2 rounds today, single car. B.J. McLeod has gone to the top position of 40.76, besting his teammate Jeff Green.
And what a lap that was for BJ, Adam.
Yes.
Yesterday, that would have put him in the top 5. Big pickup.
You know who else has made a qualifying run?
Martin Waugh.
Yes, he has. Canadian is currently 5th, and he was 4th until Harrison Rhodes just completed his lap. Driving the 0-1 for JD Motorsports, North Carolina kid, graduate of NC State, is second of 41.33.
Yeah, that lap, B.J. McLeod picked up 2 seconds from his fast lap yesterday.
How, Larry? We talked about the overcast conditions and the speed in this track, but wow, that team must have done a great job last night sorting that car out and putting a big number up on the board. That's awesome.
You ever met B.J.? Let me tell you what, you don't want to mess with B.J. McLeod.
He's stout.
If we had a football team, he'd be the first guy off the bus.
He'd be our guy. I'm saying. And Ray Black Jr. might be a wide receiver. He's got a wiry look.
And that 41.34 for Smithley. 12 cars into our qualifying session. Next up, Jordan Anderson, the 93 for Ryan Sieg Racing. 25-year-old out of South Carolina is 8th. Good to see Jordan running over here in the Xfinity Series. A truck regular and kind of an underdog type guy. Really fun to see him getting an opportunity in the Xfinity car. Vince Welsh.
Great to be with Spencer Gallagher, top 12 in both practices yesterday. How about these conditions? We got the jacket on. It's a little chilly. What do you expect from this racetrack in qualifying?
I think there's going to be a lot of speed in this Allegiant Travel Chevy. We've had a great car ever since we unloaded here. You know, it's been so impressive to watch the improvement race over race that this GMS racing team has produced, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of it. So looking forward to going out there and hopefully putting in the top 12, getting ourselves a great qualifying effort. But can't compliment the guys back home at the shop enough. You guys have been doing an amazing job with these things. Thank you.
And the team working hard came out here and tested.
Jeremy Clements in the 51.
Corey LaJoie, the 18th driver to take time in qualifying here at California. He is 4th in the U3 Toyota for JGL Racing, 40.72. His teammate Dakota Armstrong at the top. And the 19th driver to go on track, Ryan Sieg in the 39.
Tappan Sons Electric for the 2nd week in a row on the side of the 39 car, putting some sponsorship in the team's pocket so they can afford to buy the tires and tune on that 39 car the best they can. And Ryan crosses the line at a 40.65, 4th fastest. Now Michael Annette will take the green. And you see Adam, he takes the green in the middle of the racetrack, and as he works his way back to the checkered, you'll see him down at the bottom. That's just trying to take advantage of running down the hill on the front straightaway, gaining speed and hopefully cutting off some lap time.
He's running about a lane off the wall down in turn 1 and 2, just trying to keep that momentum up.
And think about these drivers, Larry, the choices they have to make. There's 6 different lanes there they can choose from. And committing to one, he committed to the high side in turns 1 and 2, goes down to the bottom in 3 and 4. If he can keep the throttle down and his momentum up, this could be a great lap. Watch him now when he comes off the corner, starts to run down that hill to get the momentum. Hopefully shaving off some lap time, picking up speed. Nice, fastest car yet.
40.30 for Michael Annette. As Michael said, he's P1, Chris.
And Daniel Hemrick, one of our rookies who's going to qualify for the first time at Auto Club Speedway. And Daniel, when you're looking at some video right now, are you trying to figure out the best line, or is it more challenging to figure out what to do with the throttle?
Yeah, I'd say as cool as it is here at Auto Club, it's probably the throttle percentage. Everybody's, kind of on the fence, where do you go on the racetrack? But my first time here, never made a qualifying run. Just trying to figure out how much throttle to carry. But like I said, the temperature's going to allow for a lot of grip. The speeds are obviously up a good bit. So it'll be fun to see what we can do with our Blue Gate Bank Chevy. And all these RCR guys have been great to work with. So hopefully I can keep doing my job and advance to the next round and go for a pole.
Thanks, Daniel.
Hemrick fast yesterday in practice, coming off that top 10 run at Phoenix a week ago when he was unable to qualify because they didn't get through the inspection line. Michael Annette is first right now. Here comes his teammate Justin Allgaier. Can't get there. 40.38 for Allgaier. He is second behind Annette.
It's actually a good lap by Michael Annette in that 5 car. No question. It's like now that they've been together for 5 weeks, we're starting to see build a little bit of steam with that 5 car.
Halfway through qualifying, 40 cars are here. All will make the field. And this is our
out.
22nd competitor.
195 into turn 1. And what makes this track interesting, Larry, is that front straightaway is sweeping. It's longer, so you get more speed down the front than you do the... There's your report from on board with Casey Mears. He doesn't like the way it's handling. It's pushing. But you can see we saw 195 into 1. 7 miles, 8 miles an hour slower into 3, and that changes the way you attack the third corner.
I'm not so sure part of the plowing in the thing isn't bottoming out so bad. I saw it bottoming out real bad going off into turn 1, and it actually makes the front wheels light if it bottoms out that bad.
He ran a 41.31 yesterday in practice at Casey Mears, a 40.37 here for the driver out of California. From one California driver to another, here's Ryan Reed as we go to Vince.
With Brendan gone, it was 11th and final practice. How optimistic are you that you can maybe make this to the second round here?
Well, you know, if it's Shane Wilson, he wants me to be 13th, so we don't have to put the extra lap on the Goodyear tire. But I think Southwest Chevy will be top 10. I mean, it felt really good in practice, but it's qualifying in California. We can start 40th and we'll still be good.
Adam.
Well, there you have it. The crew chief says, don't put no laps on my tires, boy. And Brendan Gaughan's thinking, I want to run that second round, give me a good top 10 starting position. Where do you fall on that debate, Larry McReynolds?
I want to start as close to the front as I possibly can. You know, boy, just a lot of bottoming out by Ryan Reed in that 16 car. Right now, he's still tracking fastest, but, you know, qualifying is qualifying. I want to start on the pole. I want to start up near the front.
When you looked at the speed charts yesterday in practice, Reed typically was right around 12th, 13th most of the day. That time for him, good enough to go to the top, 40.22. And the first driver we've seen to go into the 40.20 area when you look at the times. Michael Annett of 40.30 when he made his qualifying run.
That 22 that Reed ran is the fastest time that we've seen since the cars unloaded yesterday. So really strong speed. See if Bubba can do anything with him.
When we last saw him yesterday, he was a very frustrated individual. They had been trying some different front-end packages on this 6 car. He just was not happy.
Well, he's got to be happy now. He flew through turns 1 and 2, almost 2/10 on second place Ryan Reed, but he's losing it into 3. See if he can get the gas down, keep it down, and gain off turn 4. Nice turn.
He was 190 miles per hour off into turn 3.
Really gained nice coming off of turn 4 back to the start-finish line. He's going to go to the top by a couple of tenths of a second. Better than his teammate. Nearly went down in the 39-second bracket, Michael.
That was a strong lap, and you can see why these drivers like this track so much. Get down to turn 1 and 2, run a sweeping line around the high side of the track, and then down in 3 and 4, off of the track onto the apron making time. So there's so many options here. Just look at what Brendan Poole is seeing when he gets here. Look at all those lanes he's got to pick between. He takes the middle of the road.
His teammate on the pole for the Monster Energy Series race tomorrow, Kyle Larson, and he's doing double duty. So we'll see that 42 from Chip Ganassi Racing later on in qualifying. Here right now, it's all about Brennan Poole, who's trying to jump in front of Darrell Wallace Jr., who has recorded the quickest lap in this opening round of qualifying, and in the red and losing ground as he comes off turn 4.
Yeah, he keeps flirting with that time that Ryan Reed laid down a 40.22. Going to be right on top of it, it looks like. 40.10, so he goes to second in that 48 car.
Lost some time center of the corner and then really rallied coming off of 4.
Yeah, that's just getting the gas down and keeping it down. That's how you make momentum, is how you pick up time on the straightaway, and he did a nice job in the middle gaining that momentum.
Won't be much longer before we see championship leader Elliott Sadler making his qualifying run, Chris.
Yeah, and you guys are talking about the racing surface. Elliott Sadler loves this racing surface. Why do you think it's so unique?
Well, it's just a great place to race. It's a lot of fall off on it. It's very wide, but it's one of the few places we go that is so wide, but you can run top to bottom, even on the apron in turn 3 and 4. Restarts here are always crazy. Just a great place to race. That gives you a lot of options as a driver. So you got to kind of take care of your tires, but also be good on restarts too. So fun place to race at. Our One Main Financial Chevy is good yesterday. Go out here, see if we can make it to the second round and see what she's got.
Good yesterday. They've been good all season.
And a great effort here for Spencer Gallagher in qualifying. He goes up to 5th, 40.31. You know, it's interesting, Elliott Sadler talking about all the options. And, Michael, you were talking to Larry about what do you prefer, qualifying up front or saving tires and not advancing to the second round. I would think this place, doesn't matter where you qualify because it's big and wide open and so many places to pass. But history says qualifying very important. Last 12 races here, one from a top 5 starting position.
It's just one of those tracks where if you're fast the entire weekend.
Yeah, and it's just it's a test of speed. We need aerodynamics. We need a good engine under the hood. We need to keep it wound up, so that means you got to handle well. It really just shows who's got the complete package here. If your car is better than another guy's, there's enough room here to really exploit that.
First of 5 cars from the Richard Childress Racing Stables on track. The aforementioned Brendan Gaughan, who goes to second, a 40.088 seconds, Vince.
With Brandon Jones, he was the pole winner at Daytona to open the season. One of the things we enjoy about California is all the different lines we can run or see you guys run. Is that a tough choice to make in qualifying?
It is, I'm trying to take a look here and see what everybody's doing. It looks like everyone's trying to run that top line on 1 and 2, then drop down and 3 and 4 run the bottom 2. So pretty fast for Brendan Gaughan right there. Second for RCR, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully our cars have a lot of speed here. I know yesterday our Chevy Truck Months had a lot of speed too. So we should be pretty good here to look for us on the top.
Thanks, Brandon.
Well, he's got a teammate out on the racetrack right now, Daniel Hemrick at 21, tracking at the top of the sheet right now.
Wow, by a lot.
Not even close. He's almost 0.4 of a second. Now he is over 0.4 of a second on pace over what Darrell Wallace Jr. ran. And at the start-finish line, Daniel Hemrick, a 39.52. That's strong.
Hell of a job, brother. Hell of a job. P1 there.
That was a well of a job, no question. That is a lap right there. Half a second faster than Darrell Wallace Jr.
Experience is overrated. He's never been here, right?
Never been here. Never turned a lap until yesterday. Saw him before practice, and he was like, this ought to be fun. I've always watched races here. I can't wait to go try it out. Well, I think he just tested it for what it was worth. Wow, what a crazy fast lap that was.
A year ago when we came here, for the first time in his career, Blake Cook made the final round of qualifying. Big celebration. Last week he started on row 2 at Phoenix. Their program has gotten better and better and better over at Colic Racing. Got the affiliation with RCR, and he's had a fast race car this weekend. Not going to put up the lap that his quasi-teammate Daniel Hemrick just put up, but he's tracking pretty good.
Yeah, that was a solid weekend a year ago. Qualified 8th and ended up with a 12th place finish in this 11 car.
Pops up to the 3rd position, 40.08 for Blake Cook. Good job. Here comes William Byron. He's been pretty impressive in this 2017, 16, 15. He's been pretty impressive since he showed up, hasn't he?
I'd say it's all worked out for him. When you win a championship in K&N, you move to trucks. You win 7 races, more than any rookie's ever won in NASCAR's top 3 series, and probably should have won 8 races in the championship when you really break it down. That heartbreak at Phoenix when he lost the engine, and now off to a wonderful start in his rookie campaign here in the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, graduated from high school in Charlotte last year. Went off to Liberty University. Now he's taking some online classes and racing the Xfinity Series. But, whoa, that was a strong run off 4, wasn't it?
He's tracking with the top 2. I don't think it's going to be any kind of a lap Daniel Hemrick laid down. Yeah, 39.81, so still 0.3 slower than that lap by Hemrick in the 21.
Second car to go under 40 seconds. 3 cars from Junior Motorsports have been out. Justin Allgaier is 11th. Michael Annett is 8th. And we just talked about William Byron, who is P2. And here comes Kyle Busch. Always a threat when he runs in this series. The all-time wins leader. Has won 6 times here at Auto Club Speedway in Southern California. That's the most of anybody, and also has 3 Cup wins here and a couple of wins in the Camping World Truck Series.
They worked hard on this car yesterday, and you can see right now, right now he's tracking inside the top 10, but it's like the car is not down in the racetrack.
Well, I saw some good speed from that car in the late race run they made yesterday, but certainly going to be off in qualifying, which is unusual for this group.
Top 12 will advance to round 2, and Kyle Busch is probably going to have a hard time getting there. 8th is where that lap puts him in round 1. Next up is rookie teammate Matt Tifft.
Surface sunscreen Toyota for Tifft.
Spent a little time, I guess, surfing with our Chris Neville the other day up at Huntington Beach. Now we're going to air part of that in our pre-race show on FS1 at 3:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, going to be on there with Shannon and the two of you. I look forward to it.
In the Hollywood Hotel.
Yes.
Check out the Sparks fly. That's fun to watch in the morning, isn't it? Dragging along, hauling the mail.
But a lot like his teammate, Kyle Busch, barely tracking inside the top 12.
Dive that thing to the bottom, try to pick up some momentum.
In fact, I don't think he's going to make the top 12 unless he really got off turn 4 good. He will not. 14th for Matt Tiff in this 19 car.
8 cars remain in the opening round of qualifying, and the first of those is Ty Dillon. As he gets up to speed, we send it to Chris.
Yeah, and Bubba Wallace very interested in the scoring pylon down here, talking with his crew chief for a second here. And, you know, Bubba, one thing I'm noticing is we got some sun down in turns 3 and 4. Is that going to change the racetrack?
California sun's coming out. Yeah, it's going to change up. It's going to change up all day. It's changing right now. That's what's the good thing about this racetrack. So NASCAR, please do not repave this track. Please don't. Man, so much fun here. A little bummed out because this place is so freaking big, and you don't know if you underdrove it, overdrove it, or what. I feel like I underdrove it a little bit, but some good cars are not knocking us off. So I think we might make it to the second round. Hopefully it'll be a good run for us. Qualifying hasn't been the best this year. But we'll see. Lidos Ford Mustang was pretty strong there. Motor's running really good. Just really all up to me to hit my marks and get the job done. So we're barely getting by. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're looking good right now. Still up in the top 5.
My math says Bubba will advance, and he's locked into the second round. So is Ty Dillon, who just went to third. 39.94. Here's the veteran Elliott Sadler, one of the Monster Energy Series here in 2004.
194 miles an hour. That'll wake you up in the morning. I know on the East Coast we passed lunchtime, but here, a little bit early for these race car drivers. They're used to sleeping till 10 or 11 in the morning, getting up and maybe working out, and then going and getting in the car. Not the choice here in California.
Yeah, Elliott Sadler just tracking inside the top 10 as he goes through turn 4 to complete his lap.
He had a nice turn 4 there. You can see the deficit to first is not growing, so that was a good turn for him.
And that lap for Elliott Sadler going to put him 8th. On the bubble now as far as advancing to round 2 is Spencer Gallagher. And we've got 6 drivers remaining. Brandon Jones, Cole Custer, Paul Menard, Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, and Joey Logano. Here comes the second-year driver from Atlanta, Georgia, Brandon Jones.
Which means Brendan Gaughan in the 62, who is 6th, and everyone in front of him, they will advance to that final round.
Locked in.
Somebody needs to tell Darrell Wallace Jr. he's all good. I think he's a little bit concerned.
He was stressed down there, and we already knew. We'd done the math. He's okay.
But I get it. You know, we talk about all the options of the lanes and how far you run down into the corner. You can second guess yourself to death here just trying to figure out how you could have done better. How could you left that gas down just a little bit longer, maybe a different line, and the drivers really review or go through in their mind what they did and how they could improve the next time out.
It'll be a solid lap for Brandon Jones. That 33, he goes 7th.
That puts Michael Annett on the bubble. Kyle Busch down to 11th.
And Brandon Jones has locked himself into the second round of qualifying.
Well, there you have it. No sense in him stressing, right?
No sense at all. You know, going back to Bubba, Larry talked about his frustration at the end of practice yesterday. Almost reminds me of what we saw a couple of times a year ago when they would have a tough Friday and he would leave the track not knowing exactly where their program was, come out on Saturday, have a good qualifying run, and it typically equaled success in the race.
I think we're going to see that today, too. That's a strong run for him, and I think that'll just continue right on into the race.
Here's another guy with no experience, so you should be really concerned, right? 0 right up at the top when you look at the pylon as he comes back off the corner.
Yeah, he's flirting with being the fastest Ford driver so far. Cole Custer in his 0 goes 2nd, 39.75 for Cole.
Our top 3 right now, rookies that had never seen this place prior to yesterday.
And that will put Kyle Busch on the bubble, just sitting inside the top dozen right now.
Kyle had won the pole in his last 5 Xfinity Series starts, and he may not advance to round 2. As you said, he's on the bubble, and think about the drivers still to go. Paul Menard, who we know has got speed, Kyle's teammate Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, who starts on the pole tomorrow, and Joey Logano, who was by far and away the fastest car here yesterday.
Yeah, and we talked to a couple crew chiefs down in the garage this morning, Adam, you and I, and just seeing who they think might be able to run with Joey Logano, run with Eric Jones. And the name that kept coming up was this car, the 2 of Paul Menard. Great long run speed. He's obviously fast going late in this session. So keep your eye on Paul this afternoon. He could be a story.
One of his 3 career wins in the NASCAR Xfinity Series coming on the other 2-mile track, Michigan International Speedway, a few years ago.
He was out of that throttle very little. I had to play with it just a little bit when he went to pick it back up in turn 2, but in the throttle a lot in this 2 car.
This team's been fast in 2017. Austin Dillon running the first 4 races, top 10 each and every week out until they stubbed their toe, got involved in that accident late last week at Phoenix. We'll see what Menard can do with it. No doubt going to advance to round 2. 4th here in our opening round.
Right behind our 3 rookies. And that will knock Kyle Busch outside the top dozen, so we know he will not advance and will not have an opportunity to run for the pole. In fact, this is the only Toyota driver left that will have an opportunity. Eric Jones is 20.
Yeah, and you look at the way the Gibbs cars qualified through the first 4 races last year. Their average starting position, 2. And here, 2 of the 3 cars won't advance into the final round today. Jones has got a great run going, though.
Won the pole here a couple of years ago. Ryan Reed, by the way, has moved on the bubble with Kyle Busch being pushed back to 13, as Larry talked about. It goes Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano. Those are the last 3 drivers that will take time in this first round of qualifying. 40 drivers here this weekend. All will make the field. And this lap for Jones, a couple of tenths off the top speed, what will put him 3rd, a 39.751 for the driver out of Byron, Michigan.
Yeah, just 1/1000th of a second slower than Cole Custer in that 00 car.
And I believe he was fastest in the opening practice of the day for the Monster Energy NASCAR.
He was, had a good practice session this morning.
Kind of see the confidence building there in all areas for Eric Jones.
What a talented young racer Jones is, as this guy. I mean, just what a start to the 2017 season. Finished up 16 strong and didn't miss a beat. Larson's good on Saturday, and that usually means when he's good on Saturday, he's going to be good on Sunday as well.
Well, he won here in 2014 and came back the next day and finished 2nd.
Well, there you
Cup
have
race.
it. Again, we're just putting out the facts. There's a lot going on up here in this booth today.
Double duty twice this year. Both times he's finished top 3 Saturday and Sunday, and he'll move on to round 2. Kyle Larson 2nd behind Daniel Hemrick, 39.721.
I don't know about raw speed with this 22 car and Joey Logano, but I know on the long run yesterday, they had it going on with this 22 car.
And we're in for a real treat this afternoon because Kyle Busch starting back outside the top 15, and that car has good long run speed as well. So we know he'll run through the field. Be interesting to see who else has cars that didn't like the morning coolness and will adapt well to the afternoon sunshine.
This 22 team has not won in a little over a year. But Joey Logano took the 12 car to victory lane twice late in 2016, won a couple of weeks ago in his only other start this year in the Xfinity car, driving the 12 at Las Vegas.
What about those restarts late he made? I mean, just repeatedly had to be perfect, right on his game, did his job, drove to victory lane.
Got 2 turns 3 and 4 pretty good, but it's not going to be quite good enough, I don't think.
What if you woke Daniel Hemrick up this morning and said, you're going to beat everybody by 2/10 in the first round today? You think he'd have taken that?
I believe he would have, because and that's exactly what he did.
And behind you is going to be Logano and Larson and Eric Jones and Paul Menard and Kyle Busch. 21 bad fast in California. Told you earlier, Brad Keselowski going to join Michael and me in the booth. His first appearance of 2017. Then tomorrow, the Auto Club 400 3 Eastern on Fox. You can watch it live at Fox Sports Go. And both days, Saturday and Sunday, we're going for our 5th winner in 5 races so far this season.
And Daniel Hemrick said, you better take a look at me. I've got a fast Chevy, and I'm planning on using it.
You know, Adam, you mentioned all 5 of the Richard Childress Chevrolet drivers. You throw in the fact of Blake Cook, you know, with the affiliation with Richard Childress Racing. So really, Richard Childress Racing, about half of these top 12.
I think when we came on the air, it was 55 degrees, ambient temperature, and between 65 and 70 tracked him. So here we are an hour later. And, yeah, there we go. 66 right now, 73 on track.
And we heard Joey Logano talking down on pit road how much this track changes when the temperature goes up. So look for these conditions to be a little bit different. Maybe a little bit of air pressure adjustment. Larry, how do we go about adjusting for the hotter track conditions?
Well, and Joey mentioned that, and we talked to series director Wayne Otten this morning. They seal the holes in the back window. You cannot make wedge or track bar adjustments between these 2 rounds. The only thing you can adjust, air pressure, tape on the nose. They did let the 12 teams put the cool down machines on the water system.
No, but the tape on the nose, you want all that on there you can possibly have.
Absolutely.
Because these long straightaways, that's just speed, that's aerodynamics. And you want to leave all the tape on you can.
Mentioned Brandon Jones, first-time pole winner at Daytona.
So he knows how to go fast, right?
Yes,
you
he
get a pole
does.
at Daytona, you're hauling.
Round 2, you go reverse order of how you completed round 1. So Brandon Jones was 12th quick, the last guy to advance. 33 coming back to the line. He'll set the baseline on where you need to be to get the pole. And a 40.004.
Just a little quicker than what he ran on that lap on that first round.
He ran an interesting line through 3 and 4, a little bit higher than we've seen the other competitors run. Most of them right down on the white line, and 3 and 4 up in the middle of the track in 1 and 2. Let's see what Brendan Gaughan elects to do.
You know, I'm not a fan when it comes to covering these races. I don't root for anybody in particular. I try to stay unbiased. But I'm kind of rooting for Brendan Gaughan today. I mean, after a good start to 2017, the trip out west has not been good for the guy from Las Vegas. He needs something good to happen here in Southern California.
Yeah, I mean, he finished 5th back at Daytona, the opening race. And his best finish since then was 13th that he did at Atlanta. So, yeah, these 2 first NASCAR Goes West race has been a little rough on Brendan.
See the speed coming down off of turn 4. They elected to run that higher groove, kept the engine wound up, was able to close in a little bit off turn 4, but still not as good as Brandon Jones.
Almost 3 full tenths off of what he ran in the opening round as Brendan Gaughan. So he's 2nd behind Jones. 3rd car to make a run, round 2 of qualifying.
Got loose, but yet able to recover there.
I think he had picked up the throttle so early that he didn't give up that much ground.
I thought he was going to get in the wall. I thought the right rear was going to be into the wall for sure.
And look at this time.
Oh my gosh, by 0.2 of a second almost. Eric Jones, 39.67. How about that?
Did he say he was sorry? Maybe he was apologizing to the other competitors for putting it on him with a big slide off turn 2.
I don't know how he did that. Is that cool?
Yeah, Michael, I just think he was in the throttle so hard and so long in 1 and 2 that he didn't have to pay the price that much for jumping back out of the throttle.
That was crazy. I thought he would just lose speed all the way down the back. He lost a little off 2, but you're right, Larry. We had it wound up and was able to put up a lap that even surprised him.
4 cars to go. First in line, Cole Custer.
You know, we were discussing this morning at our production meeting. This young man just turned 19 years old in January, and he took full responsibility for what happened in turn 1 and 2 between he and Austin Dillon. He said, I totally made a mistake, and I hate I made a mistake. It was a racing mistake.
Happened with 10 laps to go last weekend in Phoenix. Both drivers fighting for a spot inside the top 10. Going to be a good starting position for Cole here today. 2nd behind Eric Jones. And here comes the guy that will lead him to the green flag on Sunday afternoon, hoping to sweep the qualifying sessions at Auto Club Speedway. A California native, Kyle Larson, who won this race, first of his career back in 2014.
Sharing this ride with Tyler Reddick. Tyler ran Phoenix last week, qualified 15th, finished 14th. They'll be sharing this ride all year long.
And Tyler, even though he's not running the car full time, is coming to the track each and every week. Saw him yesterday. He's hanging out up on the spotter stand, trying to get educated. He's a great young kid that just wants to get better and learning from one of the best. Kyle Larson in the green for a good while, flipped over to the red, and that bobble coming through 3 and 4 going to hurt him. 5th is where he is right now. 10 cars have run in round 2.
He was all the way down off the racetrack, and it just didn't stick for him. Made the effort, put it out there, but it just didn't, couldn't get through the center of the corner like he hoped to.
Where's Logano going to end up? I mean, so fast yesterday, said he had a car that could win the pole. That's what he told Chris Neville. What's your feeling on the 22 car?
I think second. I believe that Jones lap, Eric Jones, what he ran is something that'll stand up. We'll see. We're going to know quickly here how he stacks up with our tracker.
If you weren't with us earlier, here's some of the cars that didn't advance. Justin Allgaier won last week, going to start 20th today. Michael Annett, top 10 at Phoenix, 17th is where he will go off. Kyle Busch, 6-time winner here, qualified in the 16th position. Championship leader Elliott Sadler going to start 14th.
Logano really got a good, strong run off turn 2, and you could see it go to green down the back straightaway. And it's continuing to grow. He's getting through the middle and off the corner really well with his 22 car.
I mean, I think the 22 will get the pole.
Just like you said. To the top.
39.44. He picked up almost 3/10.
And you remember he was stacked up just like Eric Jones as they exited turn 2, Larry. But Eric's bobble over there cost him speed compared to Logano when they raced down the back.
And guys, don't engrave the pole trophy just yet. This young man here ran a well of a lap in that first round, Daniel Hemrick.
Full of confidence is the 21 driver. Kannapolis, North Carolina is where he calls home. Rookie season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series after a couple of good campaigns running at NASCAR's truck level, and he's tracking in the red as he heads over to turn 3. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to take the pole position away from Joey Logano.
Yeah, he just did not get off the corner well, and there's just no way to recover. These straightaways are so long. Still going to be a great lap, but it's not going to be pole material, I don't think.
How about front row, though? What a great morning for Daniel Hemrick. That's awesome. That's one of the prettiest cars down in the garage area, too. The Blue Gate colors just really look nice on that car.
Sticking with our theme, though, 3 drivers never been here before up in the top 6.
3 rookies, first 3 rows in the last 12 races here. One from a top 5 starting position. Logano, Hemrick, Eric Jones, Cole Custer, Paul Menard. Your top 5 after qualifying today. Leading him to the green.